Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody out this brisk Sunday evening. Before we get started this evening, could I ask Brother Madison McCracken if he'd open our services this evening? Amen. Are you going to play piano for us this evening? Okay. Everybody that sang in the choir this morning, come on up and sing in the choir again this evening, and grab somebody and bring them with you. We'll sing out the songs of faith.
460.
Page 460.
Once again, I face Satan this morning, and I battled him all the day long. But in my weakness, God sent reinforcements, and at sundown I sang victory song. And the sun's coming up in the morning. Every tear will be gone from my eyes. It's a place on a gateway to glory. And like an eagle, I'll take to the sky. In a world filled with doubts and confusion, it's so hard when you don't understand. Oh, but I'll stand on a solid foundation, and I'll hold to an unchanging hand. And the sun's coming up in the morning. Every tear will be gone from my eyes. This whole place gonna give way to glory. And like an eagle, I'll take to the sky.
324.
Page 324. Running down after this one.
Ever since Jesus saved and pardoned, I've been singing every day. I've never been sorry. Praise the Lord and trust in His holy name. From the dark shadows
Does anyone else have a song on the heart this evening? If not, Brother Kell, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
Amen. It's good to be back in God's house tonight. Good to see each one come out to be with us. If you got your Bibles, I want to turn with me over to Luke chapter 8. Luke chapter 8. This is very familiar scripture, I'm sure. This is our old Madison message. Took a long time for me to appreciate it, but there's a whole lot of truth right here, and I'm sure you've probably heard it before, but we talked about this morning about opportunities, that we don't need to miss our opportunity to get things right with God, and we don't need to miss our opportunity to help other people get things right with God also, because, time's running out. I told y'all this morning about the young fella that had passed away that we'd expected to see yesterday morning. And the first thing that I thought of was, what could I talk to that fella or told him maybe that I didn't, maybe opportunity that I missed. And as I thought about it, I said, if I'd have known that was going to happen, I would have drove over and tried to find his house. Don't know exactly where he lived at, and talked to him all day long if it's what it took. But when they're gone, they ain't no going back. It's too late. So if, we need to be very attentive. I don't know the feller's heart, and don't know that he'd listen to anything I had to say. If I did have something to say, I don't know. But I do know we ought to pay more attention, I believe. We ought to pay attention to those that are around us that we could be of some help to show them the way if they don't know the way. And as I thought about that, and I thought about this message and this piece of scripture over here, this fellow I'm going to read about, he had a lot of problems. He is in a bad shape, but then he met Jesus. And, every one of us is lost and on our way to hell. We may not think we're in such a shape as this guy was, but, lost is lost. We was lost and on our way to hell, and wasn't nothing we could do about it until we met Jesus and we accept him and what he done for every one of us. And then when we do that, we ought to want to tell somebody else about him. And that's exactly what he wants us to do, I believe. So I'll read down through here this account of this fella that met Jesus, and not just exactly what the guy wanted to do, but what Jesus told him to do. And I think that's what he wants out of us also. So it said over here in Luke chapter 8, this man here we're going to read about, it says, and they, that would be Jesus and the disciples, they arrived at the country of the Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. And when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man which had devils long time, and wore no clothes, neither abode in any house, but in the tombs. He's in a bad shape, this feller was. He run around, didn't wear no clothes, didn't live in a house, but lived in the graves, it says. And when he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech thee, torment me not. Now the devils know who Jesus is. This is proof of it. James says over there that the devils believe and tremble, but they're not saved. But the devils know who Jesus is, because they was infiltrated this man. He was full of the devil, and they recognized him right off. That's Jesus. You know what? Don't torment us, they say. For he had commanded, Jesus had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters, and he brake the bands, and was driven of the devil, into the wilderness. They couldn't keep him tied down. He was wild, and they would try to chain him down, and he would break the chains because he was filled up with the devil. And Jesus asked him, saying, "What is thy name?" And he said, "Legion," because many devils were entered into him. The legion of devils. There was so many devils entered into this guy. He was wild. He was feared, I would say, among a lot of people. Probably nobody wanted to be around him. They seen him coming down one way, they'd probably take another way. He was well known as a wild person, and he'd up there with the devil. And the devils there, Jesus had commanded that they come out of him, and they, that being the devils, they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. Now, I picture this being on a hillside in the sea out there, and these devils asked, "You're going to throw us out, don't make us go into the sea." And there was there an herd of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him that he would allow them, suffer them, to enter into them, and he suffered them or allowed them. These devils come out of the man and entered into this herd of swine. And I've read in places, and I don't know who would really know it, don't tell us here, but it says there was maybe hundreds of pigs, but a bunches of them anyway, a whole herd of them. And he allowed these devils to come out of this man and go into these pigs. It says, "Then went the devils out of the man and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and were choked." They all, the devil, he's nothing but a destroyer, even in hogs. He drowned, got into these pigs and made them run into the sea there and drowned them. And when they that fed them saw what was done, they fled and went and told it in the city and in the country. Their livelihood, I guess, was gone. Their pigs was drowned. And they went telling everybody what had happened. Then they went out to see what was done. The people, I guess, in the towns, they come to see what was done and came to Jesus and found the man out of whom the devils were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus. No doubt they'd seen this feller. No doubt everybody knew about this feller. And because, like I say, probably he was tried to be avoided at all costs. You didn't want to run into this guy. But he was sitting at Jesus' feet, clothed. Usually he didn't wear clothes. He was clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. They were afraid. I thought about that. They'd seen this feller, wild man, and I guess they just kind of got used to him and living in the tombs and breaking chains and running wild. But when he was dressed and acting normal, they got afraid. That was kind of strange, wasn't it? But anyway, he was dressed and in his right mind, and they got afraid at that point. And they also which saw it told them by what means he was possessed of the devils was healed. And then the whole multitude of the country of the Gadarenes round about besought him to depart from them. Strange, but they asked Jesus to leave. They besought him to depart, for they were taken with great fear. Like I say, they was a wild man that was eat up with the devil, and Jesus cast out the devil, and now this man is healed and in his right mind, and they asked Jesus to leave because they're afraid now. It just don't hardly make no sense, but I guess we see the bigger picture. But Jesus had healed this man, done a great and mighty miracle, and he did. He went up into the ship and returned back again. Now, the man, this is where the message is here tonight. Now, the man out of whom the devils were departed besought him that he might be with him. He wanted to go with Jesus. He said, I'll just go with you. You've saved me. You've straightened out my life. You've given me life. He didn't have much of a life, did he? He was basically dead, even worse than dead. And Jesus had gave him life. And he said, I'm just going to go with you, Jesus. But Jesus said unto him here, Jesus sent him away, saying, Return to thine own house, and show how great things God hath done unto thee. said, no, you're not going with me. You've got a work to do. You go to your own house. Go to the people that know how you was, okay? Go to the people that know what you used to be and tell them what happened to you. And it said he did that. He went his way and he published throughout the whole city how great things Jesus had done unto him. He went and told everybody I believe he come in contact with, look, I'm the crazy man. It used to be up there on the side of the road. Nobody wanted to be around. Jesus come along. He saved me. He healed me. He made me a normal person. He can do great things for you. I bet he told them that. And he goes on here. It says it came to pass that when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. The people, I believe, people was wanting to see Jesus at that point. Hey, ain't that fella? That's that wild man. What's happened to him? Well, Jesus is what happened to me. I got saved, he would tell them, I bet. Jesus come and did a great miracle. Now, he went and did just exactly what he was supposed to do. Have you ever thought, when we get saved, we just want to go on about our business? If we was to go with Jesus, everybody that gets saved would just go on to heaven. Why did he leave us here, folks? Why did he leave us here? Because for us to do a work for him. Go and tell others what a great thing God has done for us. You say, well, I didn't get brought out of the tombs, and I didn't get brought from a wild man and crazy and ate up with the devil. Again, we was all lost and headed for hell, okay? And without Jesus, so we didn't earn it, we didn't deserve it. It was a free gift of God to every one of us, okay? So he says, go and tell others what great things God done for you. I need to go and tell others what great things God's done for me. I fail a lot, folks. I'd say we all do. I believe we could all do a whole lot more for God, telling what God has done for us. Probably, like I said there a while ago, probably we all have opportunities that we let slip by. The other day I just went to go and counting times maybe. Well, maybe I was with this fella this day, and I could have said this, or I could have said that. Or maybe I could have done, we pay attention a lot of times when it's too late. We pay attention maybe a lot of times when the opportunities done slip by. I tell you what, we don't need to let those opportunities slip by where we could witness to somebody. Every one of us could witness to somebody, where we could invite somebody to church. I've told you, if you'll invite them and get them here, I believe they'll hear about God and their need for God. If they come long enough, they will. They'll hear about God and their need for God. Some folks don't know it. We take that for granted. Some folks don't know that they need God. Okay? We need to tell them. We need to show them. We need to invite them to church. We'll let them opportunities slip. Sometimes where we could just show somebody love and care, we'll let that slip by if we ain't careful. We'll let them opportunities slip by. Sometimes maybe we're afraid what they might think about us. Well, they'll think I'm preaching to them, or I'm some kind of a holy roller, or something like that. They're going to think this, or they're going to think that. I would rather, one of these days, I would hate to it, but I'd hate this, but there's a song, and it may be in that song back there, but that old church hymn that's in there, that song says, you never mentioned him to me. That'd be awful to think about somebody in hell talking to us and say, you never told me. That'd be an awful thing, wouldn't it? If somebody winds up in hell and said, you never mentioned Jesus to me. Seen you day after day, I believe the song goes, and you never mentioned him to me. It's a lot, folks, to think about. It's serious, though. It's an opportunity we've all got. A lot of times, though, we just worried about what somebody's going to think. A lot of times, here's where it's at, and this is just the plain truth. A lot of times, we're just too busy and don't care. That's just where it's at a lot of times. We're just too busy and don't care. When the opportunity is passed, there may never be another one. When we get an opportunity to talk to somebody and that opportunity passes, we may not ever get another opportunity. I think it would do us all good, folks, to slow down and pay attention to those that are around us, to those that we might be hanging out with at work tomorrow, or we might meet on the street. I think it would do us a lot of good to slow down and pay attention. We're not just saved so that we can go to heaven one of these days. That's a good thing, ain't it? That we can go to heaven one of these days. But if we was saved just so we could go to heaven one of these days, why wait till one of these days? Like I say, why didn't He just take us when we got saved? Nope. We are to help as many others as we can find the way. Every one of us. Not just the preachers, not just the Sunday school teachers, not just the deacons, but everybody that's ever been saved. You need to be a light to somebody. We've all got a job to do. I think we need to remember that every day. We need to remember that we've got a job. It's very easy, though, in the fast pace to say, well, I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing that. In the fast-paced world that we live in, it's very easy to forget people need the Lord. Everybody. Whether they look like us or whether they don't look like us or whatever, everybody needs the Lord. Everybody needs to be saved. Every person we come in contact with, think about this, everybody that we come in contact with has a soul that's going to spend eternity somewhere, either heaven or hell. That's just the way it is. That's a pretty plain and simple message tonight, folks, but it's the truth, and I ain't just telling it to you, it's for me too. That's just the way it is, folks. We need to be doing more. I'm going to ask Renata to come and get a verse, some song maybe that God's put on her heart. I'm going to ask you to think about it tonight. No doubt, every one of us could do more. No doubt, every one of us could be that witness to somebody, that in light to somebody, encourage somebody, maybe, like I said, invite them to church, show them some love, the love of God. Maybe get them to where they can see their need for God. Every one of us, folks, can do that. And every one of us is running into folks every day that probably needs God. I'm going to ask you to stand. If He spoke to you for any reason tonight, maybe He's put it on your heart to be that better witness. Put it on your heart, maybe somebody, when it comes to talking to somebody about God. If He's put that on your heart, you ought to bring it to Him right now. Folks, God can help us. If He's put that on our heart and that need, and we could do better, it'll take Him to help us to do better. A lot of times we've got good intentions, but we need God's help. If He spoke to you for any reason, right now this altar's open. If you want to come and pray right now, if you want to come and pray for somebody right now that you need to talk to, if you want to come and pray that you'd be that better light for Him. Praise the Lord. These is coming, no doubt there's other ones of us, folks. We might need to make that commitment tonight. We're going to look out for that opportunity. Try not to let it pass us by. Everybody that can and will, let's go to the Lord in prayer with these.
Shackled by a heavy burden, 'neath the load of guilt and shame, then the hand of Jesus touched
do appreciate you being here tonight. Do thank God for each one of you. Has anybody got something you would want to say tonight? Something you want to thank God for? Anybody? Amen. Anybody else? Well, I do want to say tonight, again, I mentioned it this morning, but I want to say, and I know all these Sunday school teachers, let's come and support these Sunday school teachers and be present for Sunday school. I'd like to see this big old crowd every Sunday morning early for Sunday school. I know Tim would. He's back there shaking his head. But especially this young adult Sunday school class, the teachers is working and preparing a lesson, and a good lesson too. I went back there and said this morning, a good lesson too. And a teacher or preacher or whatever, it's not always very fun if you prepare a lesson and nobody's there to get it. So young people come to Sunday school and encourage other young people to come, and let's keep working on that. So anything else needs to be said? Well, I appreciate you being here tonight. Got some of our folks over there from Black Mountain. Make them felt welcome before they get out of here. And I just thank God for y'all and love and appreciate each one of you. Nothing else to be said. I'm going to ask Justin if he'll dismiss us in prayer. And I'll catch you at that back corner door.